Thank you so much for joining us here at the First Glance Film Festival in North Hollywood. Please go ahead and introduce yourself and the very iconic name of the film that you worked on.
My name is David Lee Hess, and I'm presenting a short film called Fetish.
This obviously opens up a whole world of questions.
Yes, it does.
Give me just a little synopsis so the audience at home knows what we're dealing with, and then we'll dive into the topic.
Absolutely. The logline is, oddball Clark meets the girl of his dreams, but the relationship is threatened by his foot fetish.
I mean, really, what more do you need to say?
I think it's all there.
Tell me a little bit about the research that you did to dive into this world that many people know nothing about.
Sure.
What did you discover, and have you emerged from it?
Well, if you're talking about fetishes
Yes.
in general, yeah, actually, I didn't research before the film, fortunately, because I think it would have overwhelmed me.
Or you just wouldn't have made the film at all.
Right, maybe not. But since then, of course, we're hashtag fetish, hashtag foot fetish, etc. And there is a world out there, isn't there? That's exciting. It's just people that, it's like anything else. It's like anything else, a language or a food or a country, people that love it, really love it. And we've run across a handful of those folks.
So you also basically have a built-in audience for your film without having to do any marketing whatsoever.
Absolutely. Hey, I live in Long Beach. I must see your film. And it gets very specific. It's not just feet. It can be bunions, something very specific like that.
I have nothing to say about that. That's fantastic.
Neither do I. I have nothing more to say about that.
This may or may not fall into the fetish category, but what would be kind of the biggest challenge that you faced putting this film together?
Sure. Specifically, the music was more difficult. This is my first film, and so I wasn't totally aware of all the processes. I'm an actor, so I've been on set, and I've helped people cast and done a little first AD work. But music was surprisingly difficult to do, and you have to really...
Did you find a composer, or who did you...
I did find a composer. That might have been the easiest thing to do, but just licensing music was harder than I thought.
Yeah, and more expensive than you thought.
And not just expensive and also trying to find it, but also making sure it's creatively accurate. I mean, and to do all those things added up to a pretty tough Rubik's Cube for us. So.
Okay, but yet you managed to succeed. Here you are, first film in the film festival. What advice would you have for aspiring filmmakers who are out there trying to get themselves started and clawing their way up? Words of wisdom from someone who has done it and is here now.
You bet. The advice I'd give is to work on the writing as long as you want. I understand the feeling of when you have an idea, you just want to jump and go like, we've got to shoot this. And there is a path you can take to do that, where you do a lot of low budget, lo-fi, who cares if there's a bunch of mistakes, videos to make sure, to learn how to make movies. But I think to do a movie right is to work on the writing as long as possible. I started writing without ever thinking I was going to make a movie. I was just writing because I like to read, I like to write, and it was fun, it was creative. I was sharing the process with a friend, and we laughed our asses off. And then at some point, we just realized, oh, this is great. We should just make a movie. And here we are.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I can honestly say I'm very much looking forward to screening of Fetish tomorrow afternoon.
We look forward to seeing you.
All right, that's it.